Hello and welcome to Movie of the Year, the only podcast that has the science and the screaming to determine what is the single greatest movie of any given year. That year, this given year, is 1971. My name is Ryan, and I will be your host for tonight. What do you mean by host, Ryan? Let me tell you about that, buddy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to host one of the greatest film conversations you've ever heard, and also a game show at the same time. They say, how does he do it all? Also, I'm raising two children at the same time. I'm also grocery shopping. I am doing everything right now, and that's fine. How did we get here tonight? Let me tell you. 128 movies went into a bracket. 16 of them got their own episode. One of those is tonight, and that movie is Harold and Maude. I would say a definitive 1971 movie that has to be talked about. Who are my panelists tonight? Let's start with Mike. Magic, are you here?
Am I here? Ryan, I'm here. Am I glad to be here?
Is this like a shitty
Ryan,
impression of
I
me
am
right
glad
now?
to be here. Ask a question, then answer the question. I thought I was honoring you by speaking in your way.
I'm going to do something that I have not yet done before and give you -1 point.
Oh, hell
wait,
yeah. I love breaking boundaries.
I can't do it unless I give you a point, so you're -1. Our other panelist that Mike is going to face is Greg.
Ryan, I am happy to be here. And can I ask a quick question that's looking behind the curtain a little bit?
Sure.
Are we recording this?
We are.
Excellent. Well, I just want to make sure we're recording, Ryan, because you're doing such a great job as a host, and I think everybody needs to see that.
How can we get through this episode without having a very special guest? And tonight, our very special guest is Van. She is here right now.
Hi, Ryan. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you back. You were, of course, on the episode where we covered and that is
Literally
one of our all-time favorite episodes.
The reason you have to
so
record a podcast is because nobody can remember anything that happened when they were making a podcast.
And Ben, you were on when you were you were a poor child in the alleyway, and I found you. I gave you a crust of bread, and since then you have created your own podcast called Gaymer Girls. What is that?
Yes, it is a gaming podcast. That's GAYMER.girls.pod, depending on what platform. But we take any kind of games, that's physical media or digital games, and turn them into approachable and friendly IPs for feminine and LGBTQ plus players. So that's what I do now. But yes, I did pull myself up by the bootstraps that Ryan gave me, and I'm now a podcaster.
I handed you bootstrap. Now, I like Uno. Do you guys cover Uno?
Yeah. We can absolutely cover Uno. You can come on the show and talk about Uno as long as it relates to something either femme or LGBT.
Well, there's
We can
cards,
work an
I think.
angle.
Let's figure something out. Van, had you, and you are much younger than us, which does sort of fit the theme of tonight. Had you heard of Harold and Maude before I reached out to you to be on this episode?
Yes, I had. Yeah, I love older movies, and that's why I think I get along with you old folks, but I do love Harold and Maude.
What do you think? What is this like? Did it hold up this week watching it? Is this a good movie?
It is a good movie. You know, it's slower than I remember. I used to be really into the Truffaut, slice of life. Let's just start talking. Let's just get people on screen talking.
Let's get
and
real.
Then let's just get down and deep into it. Let's skip the small talk. But it does meander. It takes a long while. I love the opening shot. I thought those were fantastic. And then after that, it is a little bit okay. And we're really just taking our time with the delivery here.
Magic, I got to go to you. Having done 1971 movies for what seems like my entire life, is this the most fast-paced movie?
Yeah, I was like, what? This is so zippy. These TikTok kids, Ryan. Also, Van was on 1975's Shivers.
Oh, David
Yes.
Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg Shivers. That was so we like going to the 70s with Van. We want to get the new generation's take on the old shit. And I want to point out, none of us were alive when any of these movies came out. We're not that.
Oh, really?
God,
Don't. Son of a bitch.
And does your face know this? Because your face seems to indicate
Does the
that
color of your beard hair understand that?
believe
I
that
was
you
gonna
were among
say-
the first audiences to see the train pull into the station.
that was
And
terrible.
How scared
Movie.
were you?
I mean, literally the first ever train to pull into the first ever
The locomotion. I'm sorry, Mike, you were saying?
Oh yeah, no, it's super zippy. It's super funny. It's just like a fun, lighthearted. Is there things on the movie's mind? Sure, but what a delight at the cinema.
What a delight. Greg, you're the one who's always like, I love Ari Aster's movies because they always point out how disgusting old people are, right?
That is the thing I always say.
You are always saying that.
It's movies, the way that you can just make something horrible by showing an old person close up at the camera.
Which is every executive at Paramount at this time about Harold and Maude. That's not actually Greg. Greg, what did you think about Harold and Maude?
I think this is almost a perfect movie. It is
93 minutes.
It's 93 minutes.
Best movie
Every
length.
single performance is amazing. This is like the pound for pound Olympics, basically. I don't know how anybody picked the best performance on a pound for pound basis. I love all the characters. It's quirky. It's hilarious. It is so life affirming, but not in a like way where it panders to you. It is life affirming in the face of like tragedy, in the face of loss, in the face of how bleak and existential things can be. It was a delight to watch a couple times this week. And I don't know if a comedy is actually allowed to win movie of the year, but I think if it didn't have that going against it, there would be a good chance that it could prevail.
Especially because, like, and this is not necessarily how you're supposed to watch these movies, but we are mired in French Connection, Dirty Harry, Straw Dogs, Sweet Sweetbacks. Like, we are in the muck of it. And to have this come out, like, how we did this episode right towards the end was perfect. Like, watching this movie for me, there were times where I sort of rolled my eyes and thought it might be too trite, but then I realized that, like, that's all because Zooey Deschanel watched this movie at some point. You know, like, it's all because of what came after it. When this movie came out, I can feel how much of like a comet it would have been. And so I cannot wait to talk about it when we come back. Harold and Maude. Though his debut movie, The Landlord, was a bit of a flop, Hal Ashby showed promise in 1971 and had a bevy of scripts to choose from. One script, Harold and Maude, by Colin Higgins, caught his eye, but Higgins really wanted to direct it, and Ashby didn't want to hurt his feelings by directing it himself. Paramount told Ashby that it would be Ashby or somebody else, but never Higgins, which led Ashby to take the job only if Higgins was a producer and could shadow him on the set and learn how to direct. That's the kind of guy 3-time Movie of the Year appearer Hal Ashby was. Higgins' script was about a young man, played by Bud Cort, who was obsessed with death and regularly staged his own fake suicides to the frustration of his mother. He meets Maude, played by Ruth Gordon, hot off of her Oscar for Rosemary's Baby. Maude only hangs out at the funerals of strangers, so it wouldn't be long before the young man and the older woman meet, fall in love, and eventually, bang. The movie was a critical and commercial flop when it opened in Christmas in 1971. But just a few years later, it would start to regularly play at repertory cinemas and art house theaters, and by the 80s was a certifiable cult classic. Taste buds, let's start with our two main characters separately before we get them together. Greg, I'm going to hit you with this. It's hard to imagine Harold's suicides as an actual death wish. What is Harold saying? Who is he saying it to? And why is performance the only language available to him?
Oh, I think he's definitely saying to his mom, hey, look at me. I've never seen like so well shown a mom that spends all her time managing the life of her child without ever paying any attention to that child. And he is just basically saying, like, let me dictate the terms sometimes on which we have some sort of relationship. That, like, you are stifling me without ever looking at me. You, like, won't let me live, but you also won't just, like, listen to me. How can you be all over me and yet totally ignore me at the same time? It's such a conundrum, basically. And this one moment in his life, and this is what happens to a lot of people, he has this one moment in his life where his mom thinks that he's dead. And then you get this through like a flashback or a story that he tells later. And he realizes like that's like the most emotion. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's like the most he's ever gotten out of her. And he wants to reproduce that. And her answer to that is, I will like look away from you even harder. But yet at the same time, somehow completely manage your life so that there's not you. There's really just me. I think that's what it is too. Like he is trying to show some separation between his mother and himself.
Moms hate that.
She's like created this fused personality.
I've never seen more like 10 minutes of a movie that filled in everything that happened before the movie started. Like we just sort of know. Van, what do you make of this mom character, Harold's mom?
Oh, I mean, she's a piece of work, is what she is. I'd hate to be dating her son, honestly. She sees him as a reflection of her. I mean, that is like by anything he wears, by how he goes about, by what she writes down on his dating applications.
Why else have a kid?
So,
It's just your trophy.
of course. Yeah, no, if he doesn't continue on the legacy that you never achieved, then what good is your child for? So, I mean, that is just ultimately her to a T. She is neurotic in such a calm, pristine, utterly perfect way. And even going back to the moment where she first found out her son had died, way back when that we listened to in this flashback, it's all staged. It feels fake. It feels performative. One hand on her head and then the other's reaching out for support. And she collapses like she's, in the golden age of Hollywood on a fainting couch. So she's terrible.
Mike, is this a bad mom? Or is this just a normal mom with a bad kid?
No, this is what every mom's like. I don't understand what you're saying. In my experience, this is a mom.
Magic, were you a Harold?
Come on. Yes, I was a Harold. Dark eyeliner, hung out in graveyards. 100% was I a Harold. I do think, bad mom. Get that out of the way. The dad is such a vacuum and absence. He's never mentioned, I don't think, once. And one can assume he.
Did he die? Is he?
That's my assumption. I think he died. And not only is Harold, it's the one way he got attention from his mom. I think it's him trying to connect to his dad. His dad is dead. This is my read of it. His dad is dead. Maybe the war. And so he's trying to reach out. He's acting out. This movie makes way more sense if he's 15. There's a lot of reasons I'm glad he's not 15, that he's like 22. But he's acting
15.
much more like a teenager.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's rich, right? So it does not have a way of like, I don't know. He's almost
Arrested Development.
Yeah, he's almost ahead of his time in the way that he's like, 22 going on 14 or something like that. It's just like he's never. I mean, he has struggled with his own depression, but he's never like had the experience of having to like work for something or like keep himself going.
Also, like it was so hard in this season to not put him up against Malcolm McDowell. Like, there's so much Alex DeBarge from Clockwork Orange in this kid. It's just different upbringings and how much money can do for you, where Alex has to go and do this. And
rich people are never violent.
Harold gets to be like this. But like that whole thing of like, I'm just going to try to get the attention that I can is just always there.
What I like about this portrayal of Harold's depression, that I think you don't see awful enough depression, and it so often is in real life, is this giant maw and is always hungry and makes everything dark, is he's funny. And he knows he's depressed, but he knows how to use his depression as funny. And again, in my experience, that is very real. And so even though it's droll, I think it gets away with a lot of the cartoonishly because of Harold's perspective.
Is it too cartoonishly? Van, I'll go to you for this. Is Harold, and then we'll get to Maude in a second, are they too cartoonishly drawn? Or do you relate to them even though they seem sort of like able to break the fourth wall, like Tex Avery characters?
I think that's the only way I'm able to relate to them is because they are just so huge. They're these masks of themselves. And I see the humor and I see the light that Harold can like make in the face of just death and constant suicidal ideation, that you need to have that extremity in order for the rest of the narrative to flow and make sense. And I see that in the same way with Maude, where she is so ridiculous. She's absolutely wacky. Like, you see that kind of character walking around a tough part of like the streets in LA. You don't really see that in like a little old lady. So I think you need that kind of ridiculousness in order to justify the character.
Greg, let's get to you and let's get to Maude. She's a Holocaust survivor. But the film reveals this only briefly and quietly. How does this context reframe the character that she is? I mean, it is one frame.
Well, yeah, the truth, that's like one element of the mystery of Maude. She also introduces herself as a dame. She talks about that she like spending time in Vienna with her husband. She's obviously like very proficient in music. Part of what is so alluring about Maude is that we don't get her backstory at all, really. And we don't get, like the power of storytelling is the storyteller decides when do we start. And then even if you flash back, even if you give a little bit more context later, essentially we're setting like the frame of the story when we pick where we start. And we think we know Maude because we see her in this last week of her life. So we think that this is Maude. But really, this is probably Maude times 10 or something because she is right at the end. Yeah. And what is interesting, what is alluring, what is ultimately so lovable about her is we see the signs of her life, but we don't get the story of all the different parts of her life. There's too much of it to tell, and that's part of what makes us so excited to see her and to hear from her. We wish we had more of her. We wish we knew the full context, but we don't get that, and it makes the experience I don't know, frustrating, but in a pleasant way, like where we wish there was more about her that we had.
Do you guys, Mike and Van, do you feel like that we're seeing Maude through Harold's eyes? Like, is Maude too much, the height of too muchery, or is this just who he is, and then or who she is, and then Harold is just like, hell yeah, bring it on?
Harold might be, I like the idea now that you've said it, but you have put it in my head that we are seeing it possibly through Harold's eyes, that perhaps his life is so one note and such of a particular tone that her presence just glows in this unimaginable way. So I do like that, but that's a right now thought.
Yeah, I could definitely see that lens. And I think the tattoo on her arm and the one scene where she talks about Vienna, I think that does the same thing of Harold's backstory. Okay, we both get a flash of him connecting to his mom because he did it the first time. So we both get one insert, but you can't know somebody in a week.
Right.
And so you're going to see the version they perform, even if you're hanging out 18 hours a day like these two are. It's the flash, and then on top, she knows she's going to die at the end of the week. So it's why wouldn't you be what you think the best version of you is at all times? It's easy to let go of all the petty, the small stuff that makes up all of us, right? But Mom's well, I'm going to turn all that off and only do the exciting. Does she always fuck with cops? We don't know. But in the last week of her life, hell yeah, why not?
Okay, I have a big question for all of you guys before we get out of here. I'll start with Van. Manic Pixie Dream Girl is a phrase that's only 20 years old, but the home offices in Omaha, Nebraska that sent in the questions for tonight, they all mentioned this phrase a lot. Is this where it started?
Wow, I never thought of it, but yeah, sure. The original Manic Pixie Dream Girl can be an 80-year-old woman. I love that. She is just out of reach of Harold in terms of comprehending her. She is wild. She does what she wants. I mean, she's posing naked for ice sculptures or something like that at some point.
But you walk into that and you're like, wild. Oh my God, what an angel. She's doing this. She's such a enigma,
Yeah, she's an enigma. She is saving him. That is what her function is. He sees her as pulling him up in some way. So I can absolutely see that take.
Mike, were you rolling your eyes, or were you I appreciate this? The jazz singer invented sound in movies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think that archetype, even if we didn't name it for so many decades, it gets flattened out, right? I think before this, we would have talked about how Annie Hall, if we were ever talking about that movie or legally allowed to anymore, we'd say she's the OG Manic Pixie Dream Girl. But what it gets flattened out in the 2000s. Is it becomes only the male's fantasy in those movies. There's in Garden State, is there that much going on behind Listen to the Shins of Natalie Portman to Zach Braff? And no.
And the Shins is a band. Don't listen to the Shins of Natalie Portman. Those are her legs. Don't get
But that's where she talks from, because she's wacky. And so I do think watching those, it does a lot of those female characters a disservice. I think they tend to be doing more, but when it's written from a man and it's just saying, this person can save me, I think Maude does do that, but there's so much more to Maude. And I think the age different, there's also an interesting there, because I do think our elders are here to guide us. That's society, that's community. It's just slightly different because there's romantic here, but I don't think the only thing she does in her world is help Harold. She constantly is there's hints throughout the movie. She's yeah, things grow and bloom and fade and you move on. I love you. That's wonderful. You should go love other things. And that's all before we find out she's going to die.
It's so important, though, that, like, hey, Harold, your entire world is Maude. Maude's entire world is not Harold.
Mm-mm.
And so, Greg, last question to you. Is Maude a two-dimensional thing for Harold to listen to and learn?
No, I mean, no. There is an aspect that they, like, each are filling a role for each other. I mean, she gets to, again, we think that, like, the way we see Maude act is how she always acts. And maybe that's true. But I think that we have to allow for the fact that there is something about having, like, an end date to her life that is really supercharging the way she is. And she gets one last, like, go and flirt with a guy and, like, you know, charm him. And I think that that's, like, for her a fun experience as well. And also, like, leave the world a little bit of a better place, even if, you know, like, you're just doing it by throwing one starfish back in the ocean. It matters to that.
Or take one tree into the forest.
And
exactly.
I think it's very telling. Almost every time Harold goes to find Maude, she's in the middle of doing something.
Right.
So she's not just sitting there waiting for Harold.
I have another life, yes. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
That's right, folks. It is time for Rushmore, and we have done all the typical Rushmore topics, but we thought of a new one for this special movie. This is dedicated to Harold and Maude. This is May-December romances. Has that been a big deal in movies? I think yes. I would like to hear some older women, younger men, but I don't think that's going to be most of them. I think most of them are going to be older men, younger women. Van, let's start with you. Who has to be on this Rushmore?
I have to say Edward Cullen and Bella Swan from Twilight.
Wow. That is a big gap.
He's 104 years old and she is 17.
The first one I thought of. Good job.
Yep. Thank you.
Does it matter that it's a bad movie?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
okay.
Flat out. I'm not even going to yes and, I'm afraid. And I think it's ridiculous that this man actually still wants to go back to high school again and again and again. I think that's creep behavior. Like, why aren't we moving on to college? There's so much more freedom.
These are the best days of my life.
He peaked. That's why.
He did peak. Magic, what do you got?
I will see your Edward and Bella and raise you the original Edward and Bella, who's actually the first thing I thought of, which is Angel and Jealous, last name, and Buffy Summers from Buffy.
Good.
Which I guess is a movie.
Yeah, did these have to only be movies, Ryan?
This gets me fucking every year if it has to always be movies. I mean, like to do all of pop culture.
Buffy was in a movie with non-Pop Filter Hall of Famer Paul Rubens, I believe.
Well, there you
That's
go.
true. And Angel was not in that movie, even if that hurts my argument.
It does. So that one's out. Greg, what do you got?
So should we be focusing on movies?
I think movies are for the best, yeah.
Okay, because I've got mostly non-movies here, but I do have a movie here. Mrs. Robinson and Benjamin. Are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Robinson? I don't know, Benjamin. Would you like me to seduce you? This is, you've got your older woman, you've got the younger man. Also, they're both of age, you know, even though they are, one is older and one's younger.
The dream, they're both of age.
I just want to say right off the bat, not all of these are like ones that we endorse. Right,
sure,
right.
Sure.
You know, obviously there's even this one has complications, even though they're both adults. But this is what gives The Graduate its oomph.
When we go back to a season or a year like 1971, we're mostly doing like, what did this inspire?
Yeah.
But it was hard to watch Harold Maude and not think about The Graduate and how The Graduate was like, this age difference. What if it was this age difference?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think that that's a good pick.
And a movie, Ryan.
And a movie. Van, give me one more before I put something on the mountain.
Can we say the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Because we have a pretty large age gap relationship between Indiana Jones, who's supposed to be in his mid to late 30s, and our love interest, who is supposed to be 15 or 16. I believe Marion is supposed to be 15 or 16.
Yeah, we can talk about it. All right, Marion. We'll stop talking about it right now. I'm going to put Mrs. Robinson on the list. So Greg's going to get points. Okay. Because that's not complicated, right? He's a little bit young. She's a little bit old, but
yeah, but like really the weirdness there is that he's also dating her daughter. That's really what makes
That's
it.
right.
I guess that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Mike, you're up. What do you got?
I'm going to add in some extra complications here. Back to the Future 3 is a movie. Doc Brown is in his late 70s. Clara is about 30 in it. But because it's in the past and he was born in like the 1930s and we're at this point in the 1800s, so in both ways, they are May and December at the same time. Minds blown? Yes, they are.
Oh, we don't even have to respond. Mike responded for us.
I'm still doing the thing you taught me in the intro.
Indy and Marion are going on the Rushmore.
I did not realize she was supposed to be so young in that.
She doesn't look it.
I was worried I wouldn't get this on a technicality because I don't think it's explicitly stated, but it is the intended ages.
But no, at this point, Lucas and Spielberg were fucking gross dudes. And
Yeah,
like,
dude,
wouldn't it be great?
There's weird stuff all through that series of him and younger women, so I guess makes sense.
And I think there's some stuff said in like Indy 5 where they're like, we're both old now. But at one point, we both weren't.
In friggin' Temple of Doom, his best friend is a little boy.
Yeah, he's a little boy. Huh. Okay. Greg, you are up.
Okay. This
And
goes
Doc Brown and Clara from Back to the Future Part 3 is what you're up against.
This goes under the category of by my bringing this up is not an endorsement.
Okay, so this is what do you
I
have?
know.
This is Leon the professional and Matilda, his 12-year-old, again, friend, assistant, but very obviously like love interest because he is like kind of has the mind of a child. And so, again, not an endorsement. This movie came out when I was very young, and I felt one way about it then. Now I myself am a super old man. I feel very differently about it now. But I do think that like they are having some sort of relationship in the course of that movie.
That's going to go to Van. Van's going to get points for Colin and Bella. What? I think that does have to be represented, right?
Yeah.
All right. It is now speed round time. Van, give me one more.
Dirty Dancing. Baby's 17.
Yeah.
And we got a 25-year-old on the other side.
How old?
25?
25.
Okay. I thought you said 35. 25 is fine.
No,
Mike?
no, yeah.
What do you got?
It is not fine. Former pop filter or former movie of the year, Dave Novotny and Tracy Flick.
Oh, yeah. Again, not an endorsement.
Not an endorsement, but
Clearly
her,
that broke bad for those people.
I don't remember that relationship. Is there one line that you could say?
Sum it up in one line.
Yeah.
Mike.
if I had to, in his words, not an endorsement, I would say her pussy is so wet.
You said it. Okay.
And Greg, one more.
Can I just give you my non-movie ones? Come on. The Beastie Boys and the Granny from Boomin' Granny. Janie Crawford and Tea Cake from Their Eyes Were Watching God. Seinfeld and a 17-year-old high schooler from the 90s.
Oh, IRL?
IRL, yeah, that's a real one. But okay, my last real one is going to be Joe Yu and Gracie or Joe Yu and Elizabeth from the titular May-December. This is where we get that phrase from the 2020 movie May-December. But that movie's great because it shows how that is a hot teacher and a young man, and it's supposed to be like that, and they end up together in the movie, and that's supposed to make it okay. But the movie shows how that was never okay, and it ruins their entire lives, and how, honestly, adults don't date children. That's a good rule to follow.
Important rules to follow. Absolutely. Who said Leon and Matilda?
Me.
Greg gets 5 more points. Your absolutely do not get the fuck out of here relationships are Mrs. Robinson and Dustin Hoffman, Indiana Jones and Marion, Colin and Bella, and Leon and Matilda. When we come back, more about Harold and Maude. Taste buds, we are back. Maude is 79 years old, yet embodies the values of the 1960s counterculture: freedom, nonconformity, anti-materialism, and joy. Just joy. More completely than any young character in this film. Van, I'm going to start with you. What does it mean for Ashby to place those ideals in an elderly woman? And does that choice say anything about the state of the countercultural culture by 1971?
what we're seeing is the counterculture being reflected in the people where there's not usually a counterculture or subculture that's brought to like the main media. You think of the 70s and 80s, you think of the hippies, you think of the rock stars, you think of the punks, you think of all of the people rebelling against the man. And I like this subversion here of showing what that looks like for someone who is rebelling. And as we know from that one little like flash that we get, that she's a Holocaust survivor, of someone who's rebelling from things from a long time ago. I like that we get to see just a different perspective on what that means, what it means to rebel.
And another thing too, like I brought up Clockwork Orange earlier, but like Clockwork Orange has villains. Like the man, you know, or Sweetback has villains. Like we're going against, you know, Alex is against like the school state, the government state, the everything. Like, do we have villains here that we're up against? We have Klutzes, we have Claudes, but do we have like anybody that we're going up against?
No, and that's, I think, even though this is such a cartoon of a movie, it's also the most realistic because the villain is the system, but in the very realistic way of, I know this is wrong, I can do nothing against it. So what can I do? Steal a tree every once in a while and go take it like that. You can't do actually anything meaningful. You just have to do something to soothe your soul because you can't fight against it.
The villain's conformity, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we see that like there are a few different scenes that like are interludes between different personalities, and you see that although the psychologist has the picture of Freud,
like, will you live a life that has a picture of somebody else behind it?
Yeah. And so, but what they're all saying is like conform to the standards of the military, conform to the standards of the like psychiatric profession, psychological profession, conform to the religious practices. But it's not any one of those are the bad guys. The bad guy is conformity. And then when you have Maude's like Holocaust tattoo, it's like, yeah, that is the ultimate sin of conformity, is how many people just went along and just did what they were told and just followed orders and such, that it is, you can't find the bad guy. I mean, and the Nazis, I guess you could probably find a couple bad guys, but by and large, the system didn't run on evil people, though. The system ran on people that were just trying to get by, were just trying to conform and just trying to not stick out.
But like, and like, I mean, we haven't talked. Let's do it now. Let's talk about Cat Stevens. He was like, is there any way that we could use your music for this movie? And he was like, no. And then finally he said yes. And then he wrote 2 new songs. But like, is there even a movie here without his? And we know this now, you know, being in 2026 of a 1971 movie, how important this music was. And it's not Bob Dylan. It's not like super coded in the lyrics. It's just like, if you want to be me, be me, and if you want to be me, if you want to be you, be you. Like, how important is this stuff
to the overall message of the movie?
Yeah.
I think very important.
Yeah,
I mean, also, like, I just think that he created a sound that, when married with film, gave birth to like a ton of different movies. But I think that like the lyrical content, that is like it's like the undergirding message of everything, is that you have to find some way to be the truest version of yourself, because that's your only option. And yet people are so terrified of being themselves that they would rather be some pre-made version. You know, I want to go, Mike.
So there's even it's a quick cut of actual hippies, like hippie ass hippies, what we would say like leather vest, tie dye, peace signs, and the way the camera shows them and lingers is mocking. So it's even saying, even counterculture, but if you're too much this counterculture, fuck off. Don't be any group. There's no mods. There's only mod singular.
Mods are asleep. Post anything you want.
Which, like, that feels different to me than, say, Dog Day Afternoon, which is like the camera's going to give everybody an equal opportunity and be like, all of the weirdos that are out here, even if they're paid extras or not, they're going to get some camera time, and we're just going to like film New York as it is. So, Van, does this movie seem forced and created, like, as far as that counterculture goes?
I don't think so. I thought it was a pretty natural representation, but I'm also very partial to Cat Stevens. I thought he was a great flow throughout this entire movie. I was raised on him because I think my mom, if she didn't marry my dad, would try to go for Cat Stevens. And so I thought The Wind and Where Did the Children Play, is that the one that's recurrent as well, just helped actually set up the environment and the tone that allowed for this more grandiose idea of like fighting against the system without having like a specific villain in a dark cape, and shrouded in evil. It helped kind of mesh that all together and make a little bit more sense.
Can I just say I listened to the soundtrack driving over today, and it has snippets from the movie. That's not always my favorite thing on a soundtrack, but they're really well chosen, and they bleed into the music perfectly.
They're usually so bad.
Yeah, but these are the ones like, how many times have you staged your own death? And then he says 15. He says, and they're all for your mother's benefit. And he says, well, no, I wouldn't say benefit.
Like classic punchline.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
so that means that you've done other, but the military, the religion, and the science, right? Those are the three guys that we get with the pictures in front of them. I couldn't believe how much punchlines they were, and yet not the enemy, right? Like this is just stuff that you have to go through, but not battle through.
But wait, those three, and I'd add the motorcycle cop would so in other movies be
Tom's
the full-on enemy, but they are so the butt of the joke, so cartoonish, so laughable. The movie is taking any of the power and weight out of them. It's saying, if you acknowledge their authority, you're giving them that power. And even though they technically legally have some authority, if you piss in their face and act like Bugs Bunny, they can do nothing to you, really.
Man, I'm so tired of all those cartoons where Bugs Bunny just pisses in the face.
Have you not seen it? I have a lot of stickers on cars.
It's so weird that bunnies have corkscrew wieners. So like, why does it come out like that? But yeah, like it's not. You are a huge like if this was a PTA movie, that would be the entire point of the movie is to battle this one particular authority. But the whole movie, like, laughs in the face of all of them, and it goes quick.
Yeah, and it's like the same. They all have the same underlying reality to them, and it's like I think that in a way the performances are also done. Even though the characters are being mocked by the performers by the actors, the performances are so like amazing that in a weird way, like there's something redemptive about how amazing the performance of the priest is when he says like withered buttocks.
That was very iconic.
That priest being so disgusted by having sex with an old person instead of clearly a young person, that was a bummer. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, the next segment. That's right, people. It is Shopping Spree. We are going to run through the movie of Harold and Maude with a shopping cart, and everybody's going to get what they want, whether it's nouns or even like ideas or whatever you guys want. Mike, you're going to go first because you are so far in the back. What's the opposite of lead?
He's pulling up the rear, right?
Pulling up the rear. So, Mike, you are up first. What are you going to take?
I'm going to make High School Mike very happy because this is the car he wanted then, or a version of it. I'm going to take that Jaguar hearse.
Oh, are you?
Greg, was this the obvious first pick?
It is. All I wanted was a hearse. There's a kid at my school who had a purple hearse, and I wanted it so bad. So yeah,
that kid sucked.
Oh, he did suck. But when Harold mods out the Jaguar his mom gives him, throwing away his real hearse, it's sick.
Modding out, I love that because it works on.
Yeah, that was really good. Let's give Mike a point for that.
Points on that one, right?
All right, so the Jag hearse is gone, and it was crashed at the end, but Mike's going to save it right before. Greg, you're up next. What do you want to take?
Okay. I can tell there's already a bit of a run on hearses, Ryan. So I'm going to go with his original hearse. So I don't know, either he's not going to have the top to his car or I'm not going to have the top to my car. But I noticed that when Maude was driving this is basically like a Tokyo Drift hearse, Ryan. The back end on that was breaking out and I was into it. Also, a car with curtains, sign me up. A car you can just like plop in the back and take a nap. Boom, beach day. Like this is awesome.
Were they doing like any speed motion or do hearses really go like that?
I think that somebody was just driving the absolute balls off that thing and they were just breaking out the back end. It was amazing to see.
Then What are you taking?
Okay, I have to say, it's the cuntiest outfit. Whenever Harold's mom surprises him with the car, she's in that velvet two-piece with the headscarf. It is the best outfit. Outside of Candy's outfit, the ice cream themed one, it's a really hard choice, but I gotta go with the velvet drip.
Not to say anything about the future, but like if Candy's outfit doesn't come up in awards, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Is Candy the one with the belt?
Yes, the belt.
Oh yeah,
The ice cream belt.
Hell yeah, man. She showed up ready for a date.
But that is going to go to Mike for the Jag hearse. I mean, he welded that shit together. We didn't see it, but he lit it on fire, and then it cut, and then it was done. So we know he did it.
It's so interesting the views we get of him because he can do that. He is always absolutely swagged out. His drip is on 100 every fucking scene.
Yeah.
Like, you may not always agree with his sartorial choices, but these are reasoned,
But they're
choices. It makes me want to be super thin because you could wear
I
whatever
know.
when you're super thin. I would be
When you're
dying.
fat, you can wear one thing,
If you
a barrel.
If you have a vest on and a jacket and you're chubby and you have a huge beard, like, you're going to be 200 degrees.
And you're a villain from an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
And he keeps saying, oh, my word, oh.
My word. Van, you are up next. You get to take the next pick. What do you got?
Okay. I'm still going with outfits, unfortunately. So, as we've explained, we got to thank William Ware Thace, who is the costume designer for this movie. But at the very end, Harold's banjo playing outfit, the one that he walks off in.
Not the banjo, but the banjo playing outfit.
The banjo playing outfit. I'm on outfits, just so you know.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
Okay. Maude is obviously so amazing, and I would kind of like to spend more time like just looking at her various pieces of art and inventions.
Like that big wood vagina?
And what I'm going to go with right now is she designs and creates a sculpture for touching, and it's very vaginal. And Harold immediately puts his head in it to remind us that he's got huge mommy issues. But the idea that it is like a sculpture for the tactile experience, that is so cool. And if I had this, I would just stand in my corner and rub it all day. Don't let that go into your decision of whether or not.
Let's not record that. We will cut that.
Greg, you need to just go spend some time at like the Please Touch Museum or Discovery Zone. There's plenty of kids museums that'll let you touch sculptures.
I'm not going to
They're
find
healthy
some
outlets.
like museum like
Somewhere with slime.
museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
the
sensory
dream.
experience.
I love sensory experiences.
Okay, so wood sculpture?
Yeah, I'm saying wood. I have wooden rubbin statue.
Yeah.
On my list.
And the way that he touched that and went into it was like, I want to be reborn, but also I want to have sex.
It's very erotic, right? So he does two things. One, he caresses it like a lover, and two, he puts his head through it like he's being given birth. We remember movie. We know what you're doing. Thank you.
I didn't know we were going to analyze the movie or the characters in the mini segments.
Honestly, we've been asked.
Let's give Greg a point.
We've been asked not to analyze the movie so much, but we do have to do it occasionally.
All right, Mike. Just so you know, the banjo playing outfit and the wood vagina sculpture are gone. So what do you want to take?
How many turns do we all get? Just so I...
A lot more.
3 rounds. It's 3 rounds, guys.
Okay. Do you know, sometimes you want to change the tone of a scene if you think of your life in scenes instantly. And you know what helps do it is marching band. And again, I guess for whatever reason, sticking with the theme of High School Mike, who loved fucking marching band. But I want a marching band that anytime I just press a button, they come in to change we're too somber? Not anymore, baby. They're going to play Claxton.
Is that just like Hal Ashby, who is not thought of as like Robert Altman or, but like just doing this thing of like, I'm going to throw a marching band right there.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he just has these ideas. I'm going to give that to Mike again. Marching band. And Mike, you are up right now.
This is the first thing that I wrote down in Shopping Spree. What I want is a bud court, a court for friends where we all get to just sit around and be friends together.
Oh, I thought it was like where we take our buds to trial. Bud court.
Bud
Cancel
court.
plans at the last minute.
No, this is a joyous thing.
Okay.
All right, bud court. Greg, what do you got?
I thought there'd be so many. So what I'm going to go with is Maude again. amazing, perfect angel. She clearly invented some sort of smelling machine where she can pipe in. It's like got pods or something, and she can pipe in the smells. This is the ultimate Proustian device. What is more evocative than scent? Scent takes us to other times and other places. The idea that she created this like perfect vehicle. The scent is almost like time travel, the way it connects us to things from our past. And she's like, here's 42nd Street, and he's smelling all these different things. This is when she is Wonka AF. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Did you guys notice that in this scene, and it is very Wonka, that he smells what you're talking about, he tastes ginger pie.
Yeah.
He touches wood vagina.
Yep.
Every
The
single
sensory
sense
experience,
is,
Ryan.
lit up.
And he learns to play banjo. Okay, obviously, you have to say Maude does some fucked up things in this movie. Perhaps the most fucked up is you never put a banjo into the hands of a quirked up white boy. You never do that.
Steve Martin's mother is still ruining the day.
He is leaving the world a worse place. It's banjo, not even once.
It could be worse. It could have been a bagpipe.
How about a harmonica, dude?
Yeah.
He's just wailing on the harmonica. Is this how you play this? Nobody fucking knows.
Van, believe it or not, it is your turn. What is the last thing you would like to take from this movie?
The last thing I would like to take is a very expensive accessory, and I would like to throw it into the sea. And that is the very last item on my department store shopping list.
The heart of the ocean.
Did James Gaymer watch this movie? What was it? What was it?
It was that
Seashell
thing
or-
at the... Yeah, I actually didn't quite spot what it was. I thought it was like a locket because it says Harold loves.
Or the thing where she's like, thank you for this.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then she just tosses it in the end. So yeah, that's
And then
what I'd
I
like.
will
I'd like
always know where it is. That's not how the ocean works, lady.
No.
I will give that to Van. That's because Van took it even though the ocean took it away.
I thought the old lady threw it in the ocean at the end. Well, I went down there and got it for you. Okay, here it is, Brittany. Jeez.
Thank you.
Isn't she lovely?
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more about Harold and Maude. Taste buds, we're back. Is this movie Wes Anderson's mom and his dad? Did this movie make love to itself and give birth to filmmaker Wes Anderson? If I go on to Wes Anderson's Wikipedia, will there be a hyperlink to the page for this movie in the section marked parents? Or did this movie simply influence his taste, perhaps? Greg, we'll go to you.
Let's go to me on this one, Ryan. I felt like I was watching the movie that turned Wes Anderson into Wes Anderson.
I mean, usually we have to do some work. Like in the season, we've talked about Sweet Sweetback, right?
Yeah.
And we have talked about Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And like it's very clear the connection, but you have to do the work.
Yeah.
This one, no, you do not.
Yeah, I mean, like everything about it, like the depressed but quirky people, the Cat Stevens soundtrack, the like really over the top way that Harold like theatrically stages his suicide.
When Harold's mom dives into the pool, it is a complete, like everything is in the center of
Yeah.
the screen, which you are not supposed to do. And then as she swims in her little like white 1930s swim cap, he is floating dead in the corner. Like this is just him.
While Tchaikovsky is just fucking banging, like that is like such in a movie full of very subtle musical notes, like understated Cat Stevens, to have Tchaikovsky just come in and just absolutely blow the speakers out. Very awesome.
Ben, let's go to you. What does this movie's legacy have? Like, do you still feel this movie in movies that you see today?
Oh, for sure. And then also being a part of a generation that loves watching like older movies, but I was born in 2000. I think this one is still one of the most like recollected older movies from the 70s among like my film group friends. It still holds true in terms of really appreciating the art of what it means to like just have a discussion about life. I think that we're coming back to that a lot in a little bit more of like an existential horror kind of way in 2025, 2026. And so I think we're still seeing like these discussions about death and suicide as they evolve. And I think Harold and Maude set up a really great platform for them.
I think that's super is like the platform. Like it's all front and center instead of like, I will bury this in front of so many Sundance levels of subtext. Mike, do you see that?
Yeah, I think it's not just Wes Anderson, right? It's any stylized director. I see it in Edward Scissorhands. It's like Tim Burton just took it the darker route and the deathy route. But anytime it's like, here we're normal people, turn it up a few notches. But I'm a cheerleader. Welcome to Ghost World. Like all of those are, if we're quirky and like the alt kids are going to love us, those movies would not exist without this movie.
Yeah, it feels like goth before goth.
Yes.
Like he just didn't know that he was supposed to be wearing all black and have cool makeup on. He just like was still finding that element of it.
Okay, so let's get to Hal Ashby then. Like, I feel like this is one of those movies where if you told me the plot before I watched it, I'd be like, okay, I'll just say that I've seen it. But like, if you watch it, that's not true. Like, he's bringing so much. Like, what is the Hal Ashby-ness of this movie? Before we get to the award where you have to pick out something, like, what is Hal bringing to this?
I think but just so Harold and Maude, Shampoo, The Last Detail, and I know we didn't do, but Being There, what he does is melancholic comedy. And so you're like, I'm going to laugh, but it's also like, it's funny because life ends. And all of those movies have elements of that and know how to ground it without being like, there's not as suddenly an FYC scene that reminds you that these clowns are people. They just are doing both of those things throughout the whole movie. And that's because it's his tone.
But like with The Last Detail and with Shampoo, like there's such targets. I feel like he's so much more cynical. And here it's like, I don't know, man, life is life.
Yeah, the movie is making fun of individual foibles, but there's a lot of in this movie I could see there being a setup between the normal and like freak dichotomy. Like, I'm an outsider and all you normies are the same, and over and over this movie gives us like normies. It gives us normal people, and within a couple of moments we realize, no, this is just another type of weird person. They just picked a normal way to like manifest their weirdness. Going into the army is normal, but it's also super weird. Being a priest is normal, but it's also super weird. Being a psychologist is normal, but it's also super fucked up and weird.
Those three dudes with the pictures behind them all like committed to a thing.
Yeah.
Like, that this is how I believe from now on. You know, like, it's very singular.
Yeah, but it doesn't look at I don't feel like it looks at those people and judges them. It maybe judges like the impulses that brought them to where they are, but I think it handles every individual person with the exception of maybe one. I do think that the mom, ably played by Vivian Pickles, that is her name, look it up, it's Tommy's mom.
By the way, my wife decided, she told me that she would like her name changed from what it is now to Vivian Pickles.
You know, when you get married and you're woke bros like us, like it's not necessarily that the woman's just going to take the man's name, right? Why not pick a bomb new last name like Pickles?
I have not been out-progressed by men of your age in a hot minute. So, wow. I'm going to start pressing this narrative.
That's my only goal in life. I could die now. I took the tablets 2 hours ago.
My wife told me after watching this movie, she said nothing other than, my new name is Vivian Pickles, and I would like you to call me Vivi Picks.
Vivi Picks. Wow. Not a great time to be changing your name, though, actually.
Yeah. Because you don't get to vote.
Yeah.
Bow. Speed round time. How long do we think Harold's been faking suicide?
I think it just kind of recently started. I think we see attempts like 11 through 15. I don't think he's been doing it. He's done it long enough that she's like developed an immunity to it, provided he doesn't mess up the bathroom too much. But like, she must have seen it a few times, but I don't get the sense that he's like been doing it for years.
No, I think the first incident is discussed in some kind of like high school. So I'm talking like this is probably 16, 17-year-old antics that he's just been doing for a few years now, but it didn't start when he was like too young.
I think it's the second one where she walks in and her bathroom is covered in blood.
Yeah.
And that's the one where like he finishes it by like making that face at her. Like,
yeah.
That's the one that like really she does not like. Would a better name for this movie be Grandma Theft Auto? Is it proof that crime is legal for quirked up white people? Because like they stole a cop's motorcycle. Like, is she just allowed to do whatever she wanted?
I love when movies do this. Like they drive up on the motorcycle, cut. And then they're like canoodling in front of a fireplace or something. It's like, what? Wait, what's the resolution to that?
You had 4 stars in your corner.
Yeah, dude, you had the helicopter circling.
No such thing as helicopters at this time. In the pre-camera world, crime was so easy pre-1982, let's say. Like, you could just do fucking anything. You could scream your name and address, and they'll be like, what?
Do you guys think if we invented a time machine right now, we just go back and do crime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally at this time, criminals wrote to the cops to tell them what they were doing, and the cops were like, "Oh, we're never gonna figure this out."
Is it weird that hearses and ambulances used to basically be the same Ghostbusters car?
It does feel unnerving, like that the same vehicle is the ambulance.
Because like if you're
and
not
the
dead,
hearse?
but you're being put into the same car that like dead people get put into.
It's just why why there's so many funeral homes right across from assisted living. It just makes sense economically.
And
It's
why there's so
efficient.
many pet cemeteries next to Carl's Jr.'s. You ever notice that?
That is true of the Huntington Beach area. That is something that is true.
And final speed round question. It's kind of sad to realize that everything you'll ever have is something you'll one day lose.
No.
But
That
that
gives the
also makes it
poignancy.
beautiful. That makes it beautiful.
Give everybody a point for that. When we come back, awards. All right, we are here for the awards, and I cannot believe this. I guess this speaks to like what a cult classic into a real classic it was. Nominated for 0 Academy Awards. Did you guys predict that?
No.
Only because there doesn't seem to be like a film history of this movie. It seems like there's only like everybody you've ever talked to who has seen it loves it, but you don't. I feel like I don't hear much of it from movie people.
Yeah, I just thought. I don't know. I thought it would be recognized. So no Oscars. Let's get to music moment, Greg. And because you spoke up, you're going to have to go first, and I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the song Trouble, which plays while there is this just audacious intermingling of scenes. One is just like simply the doctor walking down the hallway to tell Harold that Maude has died, but it's also Harold waiting for news about Maude over time. It's also him bombing around in the Jaguar hearse. It's also him finding out that she has died, all cut together with this with Cat Stevens' song, of course, Trouble. And I just thought like it was in a movie full of great music moments. It was the one that really stuck out for me.
And the only one that's like sad.
Yeah, where you really feel it. You know, I mean, like not only does she die, but she hasn't totally gotten to die actually on her own terms. Like she did get dragged to the hospital. Like she kind of wanted to just die in the real world, right? But like she sort of loses that opportunity. And so it is like sort of like, and also she's just dying in general. So it's just a melancholy scene.
Van, music moment.
My favorite was Where Do the Children Play, but particularly the clip when Maude is first driving like an absolute madman. I thought it was a wonderful juxtaposition. It was hilarious.
I hope it's not here.
And it just it was one of the clips closer to the beginning.
Magic.
I'm going to give it to a Cat Stevens. I know it's crazy. It's when they are singing IRL. If you want to sing out on the piano, and it's not just because it's powerful to hear them sing it, but it's Maude like super saining her Maudness into Harold because he's like, I don't know how to do anything, and then he like starts out timidly and then starts singing, and then she runs away from the piano, but the piano keeps playing. Like it's fucking beautiful.
I got to give that to Mike, which I think puts him in the lead.
Oh, Michael.
Crazy.
That is such a changing moment of like, my bishop, if I could talk X-Men to Mike for a second, my bishop force is going into you.
Yeah,
Also,
I used
something
to
so
analog and I don't know.
There's something so magical about the fact that like she gets up from the piano and it continues to play, and it breaks the illusion that she's been playing the piano, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
Like this is a dream anyway. Who cares? All movies are dreams. So then like, but it works because to watch her dance and move around in that moment is like cool.
All right, Magic, fashion choice. There is a bonus point for anybody who gets this correct.
There's so much killer fashion in here. I think Van swept up most of it, but it has not yet been mentioned. But it is the geometric dress fastener hat that Harold's mom wears. It's like the Greek spiral, the very square spiral everywhere, and just the pattern from head to toe, and it is fucking mwah. beautiful.
Moa. Van?
Candy Gulf's ice cream outfit. It has to be that belt. Why would she wear that on a first date? I don't know,
On a
but I
first
like
date,
it.
that's a 30th date sort of belt. Like you have
That's
to go
something
out
you
for-
hide deep.
Can I just say, for her body type, I think it is a major winning look. That is like slimming where it needs to slim.
It's
showing
not.
off
It
what
makes
it
her
needs
look
to show
fatter.
off.
No, absolutely not. She looks. She
She's
has
a beautiful, curvy woman, Ryan, and it says,
and they did her so dirty.
Yeah, they're pointing out all of the bad parts by putting a creamy dessert on top of it.
It looks like a WWF championship belt, but it's for ice cream. It's got everything you possibly want. Curvy woman, ice cream, WWE championship belt.
Greg, what is your
And I
pick?
love your perspective.
My pick is Maude's flower dress at the end, like her death dress. This is like, throughout the whole movie, you've been like, this is actually a very beautiful lady. Seeing her in this dress is the most beautiful anybody has ever looked in a movie ever. This is a gorgeous dress. I love the way she does her hair. I mean, she does it the same way through the whole movie, but she has it up in that braid. She seriously looks like she's 25. Like it's such a beautiful look. And it's like what she's going to die in, but like it's so full of life itself, and it's flowers, which has been the center of everything.
That is Van by a million. It is that candy, like that ice cream belt.
You guys don't even like it, though.
No, I know. It's
They
so
were calling
disgusting.
her
It gets
fat.
points.
They said you're fat, and we're gonna put ice cream on you, and it's just gonna, and you're gonna be
Her
bright
name
purple.
was Candy. Do you want her name to be like sugar carbs? Sugar carbs. Do you guys find it weird? Like, I know that old ladies get a lot of shit for cutting their hair short, but also isn't long kind of weird? Like, Maude's hair is so long.
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of
part of her
weird too?
youth. Yeah, because most people, when they get to be that age, their hair thins out, it gets brittle, and it's very like just annoying to have to deal with it all the time. Like
Yeah.
she has to braid that all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it does get annoying, but it's part of what makes her seem so much younger than she really is.
Greg, cringiest moment.
Okay. There is a type of scene in movie that always causes me to full body cringe. And it's not just in this movie, it's in a lot of different movies. And it's like, you gotta let your freak flag fly. Maybe I'm like a and maybe you're like a woo woo, and maybe I'm gonna do a somersault now. And we're being so goofy.
In that moment, I will always do the robot.
You don't have to try so hard. We can see that these are quirky people, and we can see that he's come out of his shell. I just don't know why. Then you have to listen to them like make noises and hoot for a while. No, I don't want that. Just let them be themselves. I hate all this weird noises and somersaults and crap.
The somersault hill, that is a perfect
Somersault.
somersault hill, though, you joyless fuck.
But like, if you want to do a somersault,
Do a somersault, as Cat Stevens said.
Yeah, you just. But like, I think it's always a little try hard when it's like I feel a little bit like whoop-a-da-ba-ba.
Van, cringiest moment.
That was my top one as well. So then I'll actually say when Maude first offers Harold the licorice in the church, I thought to me, that was one of the first character choices that she made. That was it. She went a little too young for me. I was like, is she trying to be 4 years old? I'm a little bit icked out. And then I got right back on track with her after.
Have a taffy.
Icked. I think Icked might be the name for this award from here on out. Mike, what do you got?
I thought long and hard, far and wide. For a while, I was like Sunshine just as a character, but they're supposed to be annoying. It's there's the whole bit. She's supposed to be none, and I know it means I won't get points, but this is a perfect fucking movie. There's nothing that made me cringe.
Wow. None. Is Sunshine the I will
The
join you
actress.
with Romeo and
Yeah,
Juliet?
yeah, the one he
Yeah.
should actually be with once Maud's gone and he gets
The one I thought for fashion choice, someone might pick. She had like this collar piece on over a sweater, which is so weird, but it's like scarlet and leather and very interesting
and
character.
she's also clearly like 15, 20 years older than him.
Sure, but that doesn't matter in this movie. I also love Sunshine's choice of like, I'm going to do this with him, but I will touch the tip of the blade real quick just to make sure.
Well, she
It's
knows
smart.
because she's a pro.
Okay.
In Greg headcanon, they end up together.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
same.
make this. I don't want to make this like how this works, but I'm going to give Mike those points. Way to go, Mike. Let's go to Mike for Mike, recommendation.
He was aforementioned, but Wes Anderson's Rushmore. Not only is it stylized, it's a young man going after an older woman, and then very
How
different
was that
sound.
not mentioned in our Rushmore.
Because it was going to be my recommendation, and it was gonna be his.
We could have had Rushmore on Rushmore,
Whole
and
score
we did
is-
not do it.
By Devo's Mark Mothersbaugh, so it's also one person controlling the sonic landscape of the movie. Yeah, it's Rushmore as hell.
We have not done 1998 yet, and I think I know why. My recommendation is Dick Johnson is Dead. Do you guys remember that documentary?
No.
No. Oh yeah, it's about the woman whose father is dying, and they kind of just make it into a documentary.
Yes, and then they just like figure out all of these ways for him to like magically die, and he spends the last like 2 years of his life filming all these ways he could die, and it's such a celebration of life and the end of life, and like the dad is so down with it, and he makes them all funny, much like Harold is at the beginning of his life. Dick Johnson is Dead. Van, sorry, what do you got?
No worries. I got Secretary 2002 with James Spader flick. I felt that the themes of like self-harm and suicide combined with sort of the commedia del dark ideation was a great kind of parallel, along with the similar May-December kind of relationships here. We have our suicidal spring and then our slightly like deranged winter. And I felt that also in particular that montage at the end of the intervention felt very reminiscent of Secretary 2002. So same kind of couple dynamic, just on the BDSM side for sure.
That's James Spader, right?
And Maggie
James
Gyllenhaal?
Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, director Steven Shainberg.
James Spader, like, do we all understand why he's hot? Do we
He's
get it?
because he's
yes.
so fucking intense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
so-
scary.
To this day.
Have you seen Sex Lives on Videotape?
I have.
He's this
Yeah.
weird mix of like non-sexual but extremely sexual at the same time.
Have you seen
It's
Age of
the
Ultron?
confidence. Have you seen Robert California?
Robert?
Seen the
Greg, what do you
Blacklist?
got?
I also briefly thought about doing Rushmore, Ryan, but I thought that was kind of first thought.
First thought, worst thought.
So what does Harold really want? He wants the attention of his mom, probably also kind of his dad, but his dad's just gone for whatever reason. Another Wes Anderson that is all about trying to like get the attention of, live up to, like learn the reality of your father is 2025's The Phoenician Scheme. Every time you watch a Wes Anderson movie now, he's been doing it for so long, every single time you're like, is this one of the bad ones or is this one of the good ones? Phoenician Scheme, I put very much in the category of one of the good ones. One of my favorite Wes Anderson movies of the last, decade or so. Highly quirky, very unusual, leaning into the Wes Anderson aesthetic, but not in a way that annoyed or alienated me, and just a good time.
I thought about recommending Moonrise Kingdom.
I just rewatched Moonrise Kingdom. It's so good.
Yeah.
Another amazing love story.
Yeah.
And also one that like kind of rewrites a story of tragedy into a story of like making it.
All right, I'm going to give that one to Van.
Yay!
Good recommendation. Hey, Greg, we're going to you. This is our, we'll talk about Hal Ashby later, but like director signature moment. Did you see, what was the Ashbyest moment that you saw tonight?
I don't think I've seen a lot of this guy's movies actually, but to pick a moment was difficult for me. So I'm going to go with what I thought was like the most affecting moment of the movie, which is the movie gets tough right at the end. Maude dies. The circumstances around her death are not great. It gives us like more questions than answers, really. Like, oh, is this okay that she did that? Is it okay that he had the reaction he did? Like, is that how they really wanted to spend the last moments of their time together? And then you think you see him commit suicide, and then he doesn't just walk off playing the banjo. He dances off playing the banjo. The first thing she says to him is, "Do you sing and dance?" And he says no. And clearly that becomes like a little bit of like a mission for her. And we see her like give him the instrument, give him the actual music, give him that energy. And we realize at the end that like this is the tree that she's planted in him. And we watch it actually grow. And so we know that like it's okay at the end, that like things have carried on, and that it's not sad, but that it's like it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I love about that moment is the whole movie has a very like shallow aesthetic relationship with death, and then he finally actually confronts it, and so he's like, well, I'm gonna get rid of my stupid fucking childish hearse-mobile.
Yeah.
I no longer wearing dark clothes, and now I can just become a member of the Lumineers and skid off into the hills.
Hey, I'm Mumford and his sons.
Yeah, that one seems hard to beat. Van, what is the Hal Ashbyest moment of this movie?
You know what's crazy is I picked that moment where Maude asks, "Do you sing and dance?" He says no, and she says, "No, I thought not," because it plants this tiny little seed, and you think of it as totally inconsequential when you first hear of it. And I thought it was very reminiscent of Ashby's style too. It's just you're just chit chatty. It's very chit chatty. It's a throwaway line, and then it builds off of it for the rest of the film.
But I do think that, like, if you watch this movie and you already play an instrument, you're like, hell yeah. And if you don't, you're like, should I? You know, like, that's the sort of effect that, like, gets into your veins. Yeah. Magic, what do you got?
It's not necessarily the Ashbyest, but it's the most you're like, this is a director. And I do think if it was somebody else, I'd be like, fuck you. But I think it's very striking in this movie. And because I trust him, it's the field of flowers into field of tombstones. If anybody else, my eyes would roll out of my head. But I'm just like, earned it. I love you, dude. Let's do it.
But you don't like my funeral home thing, Mike? Come on, that's the same exact thing. That's the same move from Clue. You jerk.
I don't trust that director, I guess.
It's so telegraphed, and yet you're like, well, I just like movies, I guess.
I mean, like watch it happen and say you don't like it.
Oh, man. I'm going to give that to Greg. Because the dance and the banjo is like, I think that the most talked about, least talked about part of that movie is like, that's what everybody doesn't talk about, but definitely does remember. That's going to go to Greg. I'm going to make sure I'm giving the points to the right spot. And we have one spot left, and that is pound for pound performance. We have two leads. Magic, will you go with a lead?
I will not. I think will become a movie of the year favorite. We already talked about her name. I love her clothes. Vivian Pickles gets exactly what this Vivi Picks. And she's great in all of it, but the scene where she's filling out the form for him and it goes just more and more narcissistic and to the point that she forgets he's in the room.
Yes.
So funny.
That scene has, like, I can't believe we haven't talked about that scene because it's such a microcosm of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, not only does she not care about her son, but then also he performs magic. Like, he shoots himself in the head and there is a bullet hole.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, that's not in real life of the movie how that happened, and yet it all does. Like, that is the scene of the movie.
And it's also the scene of the movie because she transitions from answering the questions on his behalf,
right,
to being the person who is answering the question.
Has the sexual revolution gone too far? Well, absolutely it has.
Are you offended by wife swapping? I'm offended by the question. Yeah. Vivian Pickles is everything this movie needed because it would be so easy to make his mom just like awful and shrewish and terrible. And in a lot of ways, she is perhaps those things. But Vivian Pickles is breathing such life into it. And she's doing such a good fucking job. She should have been the only performance in the movie that was bad because we should have hated the mom. But instead, she fucking did such a good job.
And if you've ever had a kid or been a kid, you know how frustrating it would be to have Bud Cort as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, no, this makes sense. Like, I would be upset with this kid. All right, Mike, good job. Maybe picks. Van, what do you got?
I'm giving it to Bud Cort, but I'm giving it to Bud Cort for the smallest or shortest moment of time in the movie. It is the exact moment when he processes the information that Maude is going to kill herself. It is that split-second reaction. I thought that was the emotional, absolute climax for him in this movie. And I know it's a little cheesy. It is just the straight up screaming freak out, but that is the one thing he really doesn't do during the entire rest of the movie. It is building up to it. So I'm giving it to Bud Cort for that 1 second.
Greg?
I mean, Vivian Pickles. I'm I mean, when it comes to real life, I'm a no on pickles every single time. But
what? Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I am not a pickles. I am not a pickles guy, except in this one instance.
A gently massaged cucumber right into a sandwich? No,
sir. No, I'm the kind of
little salty.
This is why I pair so well with my wife. My sandwich comes, it's got the pickle spear on it. Boom, honey, great news. You just went from
at your forehead.
You just went from quarter pickle to half pickle, and that's because you chose the right man. You chose the right man. Someone who is grossed out by pickles, except Tommy Pickles and his mom.
Oh,
and pickles.
I thought that is that true?
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, I did not do the
That's
family.
the origin of Tommy Pickles.
I thought that me and my wife were perfect because we would every time we get a pickle, I put one end in my mouth, she puts the other end in her mouth, and then we bite it.
That's
towards each other.
That's romantic as hell, obviously.
Yeah,
but it's disgusting because it's a pickle.
Hearts around our eyes. The entire time.
Sure,
Hearts made of pickles, green warty hearts.
Okay. So the actual answer here is Ruth Gordon, of course. But I'm going to give it to Van for Bud Court, even though Vivi Pix did an incredible job. Let's do this. Greg, Hal Ashby. Have we done that one yet?
Yep.
I do believe we did because that was the playing the banjo.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, the winner will be announced. And that is our show. Gentlemen, this is our third 70s season. And this is our third Hal Ashby movie. We have done one Ashby per season. Can anybody rank them? Mike, can you do it right now?
I would say maybe it's recency, but no, it's Harold and Maude, Last Detail, Shampoo for me.
I agree, Ryan.
That's your answer too?
Yeah.
Wow. I would say Shampoo, Last Detail, Harold and Maude.
Wow. I already said this movie was perfect, so it would be weird if I ranked it lower than other movies.
I also said this movie was perfect. So.
78 and 79, if we do those two seasons, I think he has two more movies. Being There and Coming Home. I think that he has two more movies in him. Ruth Gordon. I don't think so. I think that this is probably her one.
You think? What about Rosemary's Baby?
That's in the 60s.
Oh,
so,
we're not doing that shit.
We're never going to go back that far.
And then Bud Court, I think he has two more in him. 1995, Heat. Do you think we'll do Heat?
Ooh.
Oh, we
I
have
did-
to do Heat.
Yeah, if we do 95, and that's the year I graduated from middle school, so I think we're going to do it, okay?
And then if we do 1970, MASH. He was the person who does the voiceover in the camp of MASH. And I think he's our generation's Michael Cera. And Michael Cera did the voiceover for Children's Hospital. So I think that all sort of connects. Yeah.
So his like cameo as like the camp director in But I'm a Cheerleader just doesn't count?
No, yeah.
Oh, we already did that year too, I think, and didn't do.
I think we did.
So
Theme song for MASH, Suicide is Painless. Makes you think.
If we do the karaoke for the theme songs of our movies, we will sing Suicide is Painless. Van, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me online, van.bauman, or gamergirls.pod on most platforms, Gamer Girls Pod on YouTube. Check us out. It's a fun time. We'll get videos releasing in hopefully May or June.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I do have to be the person that tells you that you won tonight and you beat the pants off these two morons.
Good thing I'm wearing shorts.
Well, thank you so much. It is an honor to not only be back, but to win on my first episode back.
Yeah. And like, I can't deny it. You did.
Just
win.
right there on the screen.
Thank you so much. By several points, just so the audience knows, by at least 4 points.
Yeah. Some of us beaten by even more than that.
I mean, Greg, you got
Yes.
How many points is that, Greg?
Yeah, that's 46, Ryan. That's just not enough. I scored more points last game than I did this game.
You got busted.
I did.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. For Mike, for Greg, for Van. My name is Ryan. Keep watching those movies. Goofy, tell them how they did.
The perfect cast.